It is a day of shock and grim discovery in the Philippines. The storm itself has now passed, but the terrible devastation brought by Super Typhoon Haiyan is just now being realized by people in the Philippines. And that devastation is on a scale that we rarely see. This city on an island in the central Philippines took a direct hit from Haiyan. Houses were flattened, power lines were ripped from the ground. Government officials have confirmed about 130 dead here, but relief agencies are still making their way to some of the hardest hit parts of the city. And workers with the Red Cross say the number of dead could reach 1,200. Winds gusting from Haiyan reached 270 kilometers an hour, making it one of the strongest recorded storms on record. Time to check in on the Philippines right now. Freelance reporter Dean Bernardo is there, and he joins us from the capital, Manila. So, Dean, we've been getting video from a city that took the brunt of Haiyan. Just how much damage has the storm caused there?
Yes, good afternoon, Nancy. Well, the realization right now that much of Tacloban's major public and private infrastructure has been destroyed. The airport, the terminal itself is no longer usable. The runway is the only thing that remains useful. The radar dome is in its disrepair, and they're trying to restore it to give flights or planes access into the city. Now, the Interior Minister has said that based on their initial survey this afternoon, much of Tacloban from the shore, 1 kilometer inland, is already destroyed, have been flattened. The damage has been extensive. The dead are still being counted, and we suspect that there are still a lot buried under the mud or the debris of destroyed homes and buildings.
I have to think that crews are hard at work in the rescue and recovery effort, but you mentioned access, which must be a challenge. Tell me more about the problems that they're facing that's complicating the relief effort.
As of now, as a result of the lack of power and communication, a lot of teams are not able to communicate with each other. Now, the problem there are a lot of highways and bridges that have been destroyed. Members of the Armed Forces of the Philippines and civil society, including the reserves, have been trying to access a lot of towns. Now, if you could imagine Tacloban is a coastal town or a coastal city, there are still about 20 other towns in the same province or in the same island that has not been reached, and still no word is reaching the national government or the command center that was established in Tacloban this afternoon. So that is how difficult it is. And there are a lot who are trying their very best to reach these coastal towns and interior villages.
Dean, thanks very much for the update. That's Dean Bernardo reporting from Manila.